Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Okay, so we made a fair bit of progress since I last gave you a bit of an update. And let's go through this today. In the comments, firstly, thank you so much for the support. I love it. You've asked me that I should try and avoid the day-night cycle because it's too dark if the nighttime comes in and you can't see what I'm doing. Of course, thank you so much for that comment. I probably agree with you. It's pretty dark even in the game, let alone in the video. However, looking through the settings, I cannot actually find a way to stop the day-night cycle. There's all kinds of stuff over here to do, but the day-night cycle is not one of them. So unfortunately, I can't do that. What I can, however, do is I can pause the game and I can show you during the day. Because it's mainly just me talking about stuff in these episodes. Yeah, so that's basically it. So about the day-night cycle. So let's continue about where we last left off. So basically, we started this town. I started the construction towards the coal town over here, and I quickly wanted to give you a bit of an update. So we've got our university up and running over here, medical university. With some basics, and our population is doing really well. Pretty decent population. We've got a decent unemployed population, which is good. You need some unemployed populations to make sure you can get everything done. We seem to have a fair bit of an uneducated population creeping up, so I might just have a quick look around the schools to see if everybody is actually going to school and can get to school for that matter. So we've got a few buildings here that are not actually connected up to the school. So things like that is probably starting to cause us a bit of problems. We're still getting escapes. I don't think we're going to get rid of that at the moment, but everything else seems to be pretty much okay. If we look at our economy, we are doing a decent job at the moment by actually getting an income. So that is pretty good, and we're predominantly achieving that by exporting steel. So steel exports is the big one, which I've ramped up clothing production a fair bit, and then we also still have alcohol, and now I'm also exporting mechanical components. So let me get to that. Firstly, well, let's just finish this discussion. So to Western countries, I'm exporting steel. Oh yeah, just by truck and some fabric. So that's giving me a fair bit of, well, enough to purchase my my power. So imports are meat. Why am I importing clothes? Oh, there must be a shop somewhere that's importing clothes. I'm not actually electronics, same thing. No, I'm not making electronics actually. So yeah, coal ore. Yeah, that we know we're using a lot of coal ore. But that's not too bad considering we're creating steel from it. Chemicals we're getting in for the clothing industry. We should not be importing any food anymore. Crops, yes, we're importing tons of that. Iron we're importing at the steel mill just when we can't get the iron there quick enough. And then gravel, we really shouldn't be importing gravel. Oh, you know what? I think there was one little pathway that I just auto-constructed, and that's where that came from, just because I was having a pathing issue. Okay, so that's basically that. So let me quickly show you over here. So I built the mechanic components piece. So we are creating our own mechanic components, which is pretty good because we need that for a lot of the new buildings that we've got going on. In the same breath, in the same area, I've also built the electronics assembly factory, the plastics factory, and the electrical components factory. I'm not actually working these factories at the moment. So they don't have any workers or anything there because I don't have all of the resources required for that. But I did build them just to make sure that we've got our area set out over here. What I then decided to do is I probably need workers over here. So I built another little town over here with some of the basics. And I've got a rail platform over here. So we're going to try and start connecting things all together over here. I also have a loading unloading facility for oil and fuel, which needs to go into this plastics factory. So once we get oil hooked up somewhere, that can come over here. And as part of that, I've started the planning of a whole new rail line alongside that facility and going in here. And as you can see, the construction is currently underway over here. A quick tip in terms of when you are building a rail, make sure that you place your signals or semaphores even in the plan section, as you can see over there. If you don't do this, this under construction section actually acts like a block. And so what happens is we've got this the rail construction vehicle that comes in here, and it blocks that entire block, and then the other one can't get in alongside it. So it's something to bear in mind. You need to have or place your semaphores even in the construction sections. So I've got them over here. Oh, some similar thing happens over here. If you do the planning in like this and you don't place these semaphores, this entire planning section becomes part of this intersection. And so that's why you do need to place your signals in there. Okay, just to make sure you close off the block. So do bear that in mind. Okay, so what was the next thing that we've done? So this is the planning of this area, and it's filling in quite nicely. I do like I do like the fact that it's growing so organically and filling in some areas, and this is actually looking quite nice and structured. In trying to figure out if there is a day-night cycle to switch on and off, I've seen some tips around, and there's one thing that I think is actually quite useful, stating that you shouldn't use all construction yards, well, as a tip, all construction offices to do all things. What you should rather do is you should set up one construction yard and have all your dumpers in there, and then another construction yard and have all your road construction pieces in there, and another one with all your cranes and buses and stuff in there, or something to that effect, some kind of setup like that. And then you just get all of them to work together all the time, so that there's one that's just constantly running around with getting stuff from the from the getting your construction materials. So that's something that I'm definitely going to start investigating in the near future. Okay, now let's get down. Oh, another part. Excuse me. Frog in my throat, not a real one though. Another part of why I've constructed this line over here is I'm effectively trying to bypass this weird setup that we've got going on over here. As you can see, I've also increased this setup over here, so there's a fair bit of movement, and this little bypass over here was created to allow the construction vehicle, which is not here at the moment, so to start double tracking this section. So yeah, that kind of construction takes quite a while to do, but anyway, we are progressing. I'll get back to the coal area now. What I've also done over here, and I don't think this was in the previous one, I placed a new almost construction industry or construction material industry over here. So I'm using the rail to bring gravel to this side. I'm filling up a new gravel aggregate storage, and from there I am creating prefab panels, I'm creating asphalt, and I'm creating not a mixer, I'm creating concrete and cement. However, I'm not creating over here, but I've got the silo, and we're trucking in cement from the other plant all the way back over here in Chaosgrad, because we're not using it that quickly. So that's actually working quite well. So we're creating our own stuff over here, including the prefab panels, and that is allowing construction here to happen a little bit quicker. The distance that these vehicles needed to travel to go and get the stuff was just crazy, while over here is still bricks and boards and prefab and steel, so they come and collect that over here. So that's still a little further away, but I think we are moving the things basically. I might create some kind of setup off the rail over here to be able to, I don't know, get some of these other pieces in here a little bit better, so that our construction industry is nice and centralized. Feel it's fairly central to what we're trying to achieve and do. So this area here I expanded a little bit, and I built the headquarters of the Communist Party. Glorious Communist Party. I did that predominantly to try and see if there's any research that I can do over here, and the same with this one. I built that to see if there's any research I can do, and unfortunately there's not. And in the last episode I was talking about Oh, I finished off the research over here, so there's no more research over this way as well. Lots and lots of professors though, so our education level is quite high. What I did, I couldn't find anywhere where you can actually build vehicles. These are the most advanced pieces that I can build, and I've got them over here. So I don't know how on earth you're supposed to build vehicles. Maybe the pop-up message or something that I remember somewhere was something that's planned for the future or something like that. So for now, it seems like we're going to have to buy vehicles, but it's not too much of a problem because we are making a pretty healthy profit. Oh, I digress so quickly. Another reason for this line to go up here is because I actually want to start exporting iron ore directly. If you see the price of iron ore, not iron ore, of iron, processed iron, it is pretty decent, right? 129, and if we consider that we generate many tons of them very quickly, it's probably a good export resource for us. So what we'll do is I'll try and rejig this and connect this up, or maybe run through here somewhere, so that we can run another rail, so another train from here to Molna over there, and start exporting iron, because I think that is going to be lucrative industry. I've gone ahead and added an extra iron mine in here as well, so that we can get a little bit more iron processed a little quicker. Okay, let's move along. Oh, at the bottom over here I've also added, so this area is place for the town to grow, and I've added another rail platform over here. So I've got a rail platform there and a rail platform over here, and I've also switched to the bigger rail platforms now. Okay, moving along. So we finished construction of this long great rail project, and I've actually added this stop to the line, so the guys are doing it. The bridge is also built and the road is built, and we've started construction on the town over here, construction industry over here. We've got our rail platform into our town over here, and I've set up my first coal mine up here with pretty long conveyor system down there. And the reason I did this is I didn't want to build the town all the way on this side, but it's probably going to have a few conveyors and stuff going around this little mountain as we up our coal production, because this area here doesn't quite feel like it's the right thing for the town, considering what we've got going on over here. So this then leads into our coal processing plant, into our aggregate storage, and into our aggregate loader, so that we can actually load the train with coal and get the coal to go up to the steel mill, or what I've also discussed in one of the previous episodes, maybe start a new steel industry right over here, so that we can get everything a little bit more productive, in which case we will have to switch this around or add something in here, but I'm sure we can fit something, though it might be a little tough. We'll see about that. Okay, so that is basically the stuff that has been happening. Yeah. Oh, now the next thing that I am quite keen on doing, once I've got coal hooked up, okay, then the next thing I want to do is move into the oil industry. So I spent a bit of time looking for coal, oil, not coal. Come on. And I have found, what is going on? This thing doesn't feel quite right. Let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe it's not rendering quick enough. So what I found is that there is a fair bit of these areas over here. I don't know what's going on. Doesn't feel quite right to me. Why is it being a pain? It doesn't usually do that. Anyway, so there's a few fields over here. So if I get this, so what I'm going to try and do is see how we connect our existing infrastructure, both the rail and the road, somewhere over here. Start a new little town over here. That is where we are going to start getting some oil out of the ground, and I'm thinking oil processing will take place over here, and and refining and those kind of things, and then we will start shipping things back, well, at the very least to here, so that we can create some plastics for the rest of our industry, and potentially even start shipping things straight out of there. Also in the coal area, and it's something that I can quickly place at the moment, is I am keen that we set up our coal power plant. So we definitely want to see about doing that. So that is not good. If I kind of place it, well, actually this spot over here is pretty cool actually. So if we, for instance, say we will be placing this guy right here, and what we potentially need to do is leave room so that we can do more than one over here, just in case. So I'll do let's do something like this. So we'll get that sorted out ever so quickly. Okay, so we'll do something like that. We'll leave open a spot over here so we get an extra one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab ourselves a conveyor and the conveyor transfer engine. And what I'll do is I'm just going to try and do it a little... actually... well, a little something like this, because we may... actually, it needs to be a little closer. So if I do a little something like that, and we try and... come on. Stop it. Stop it. Go away. Go away. Message. There you go. Wow, it takes ages. So we will try and... why is it so low? This one? Must go from an input of a building. Oh, because that's what I'm doing, right? So we can do that one. What doesn't work, however, is this piece over here. Okay, so let's cancel that ever so quickly. We'll get rid of this building over here. Thank you so much. We'll try. Oh, because I need to do that. We will try and see if we can actually tie that in. Maybe I'm not actually connecting up to it. This actually works. Did I do this wrong? So let's try and slot it in there and see if that works. So this should work, right? If we actually click the right thing. No, that doesn't work, but let's try this side. Aha! That side works. Okay, this is the thing, right? This is why I don't play the game while I'm actually talking to you guys, because it's a bit of a mess. So let's try this one more time over there. We'll get this conveyor set up, so that is actually working, and then we'll try that again. And now it's not working because the road is kind of in the way down there. Man, this game is it really is difficult to get all of this placed, and I do think that the developers should probably look a little bit at getting it slightly easier. I don't suggest they should make it a breeze to get things placed, because I think that's part of the challenge, but honestly, I do feel they should make it a little bit easier, especially with some of this stuff. And now again, overlaps existing construction. So I'm probably just needing to place that a little bit more to the right. And every time that's a bit of an issue over there. So let's place it a little bit more to the right, and hopefully, and it's probably again the same damn issue that I'm not going to get these. Ooh, that one's connecting up, so that's fine. So now from over here I can probably feed this one as well. I'm not sure that is an efficient way of doing it, but now at least there's room for our coal power plant over here, so we can actually start doing our own power. That is something I'm looking forward to. to do. And this little town over here, I think, will also be a big one, and we'll try and expand that a lot. The thing that I didn't quite bear in mind is this, but I think it's okay. I don't think we need to run this into that direction. We definitely can't tie this back onto itself. So the loading of coal over here will always have to run in this direction, unless we do something else over here, but I'm not going to do that just now. Okay guys, so I think I'm going to leave it over here. I'm going to continue the expansion, I'm going to continue the construction over here, and I will see you in another update episode where I will hopefully show you that all of this is up and running. We're exporting iron, our coal industry is working, and we are producing our own power, and maybe even an additional steel mill somewhere over here to replace what we've got going on over here. One thing that I have been thinking about quite a lot is this importing of crops. We don't seem to be producing nearly the kind of crops that we need for all the industries that we've got going on over here. So whether I really need to use up all of this space for crops is something that I'm reconsidering. I do want to potentially do a little bit of work with some livestock to see if we can get the meat industry up and running a little bit, because I think that could be a little bit more efficient, or at least I just want to see how that works. But yeah, really, as it stands now, I don't think this is something that we're gonna maintain over here. It takes up a lot of space that could potentially be nice, viable Chaosgrad growing area. Well, yeah, make fun of me for doing that. And then we'll see about doing about what we can actually fill in here that is a little bit more efficient. Potentially we can actually divert the rail in here and do a proper station that feeds this area with only a little shoot off to the one side of the city over here. But yeah, those are some of the kind of things that I'm thinking about, making better use of this space. But the city is growing quite nicely, and I do like the little clusters of towns that I'm doing close to where things are at. I think there are, what I'm learning here is there are much more efficient ways to lay out some of these industrial areas, and we'll probably do that in maybe another, well, as we grow other towns, they'll try and be more efficient, but really in a next playthrough at some point I will you know, practice everything that I've learned in this first playthrough that I'm doing. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and if you've liked it, hit that button. If you have some comments, leave them down below. If there's anything that you want to know or want to see, tell me so that I can actually try and show you that in our next episode. That is kind of the plan. So tell me what you want to see, and I will try and show you that. If it's not too advanced, by the way. I'm not the expert in this game, but I am just kind of getting the hang of it. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.